Hey y'all, meteorologist Sydney Goldberg here from the First Alert Desk, and it is Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. We're almost there to the end of the week, to the weekend, but it's also September 3rd. That means we're officially 1 week away from the climatological peak of hurricane season. That date is September 10th, so we're getting close, and so that means we're going to have to keep our eye on the tropics because we are in the heart of hurricane season. In fact, the National Hurricane Center is tracking one area, a tropical wave, that has moved off the African coast. Right now, doesn't look like much, just a bunch of thunderstorm activity, not really seeing any organization with that. But as it continues to track west-northwestward, it looks like this could enter a more favorable environment, and that'll lead to slow development over the next week. So it's tagged for a low chance in the next couple of days, but it does have a high chance of developing through the next week at 70%. So this will likely be our next depression, and maybe if it reaches tropical storm, that'll get the next name on the list. That name is the G name, that is Gabrielle. So if that does form into a tropical storm, it'll get the name Gabrielle. Here's the water vapor pattern. I want to show you this because this is our weather pattern that's been bringing the nicer feel in the mornings, the lower humidity. Our temperatures have been right around our seasonal averages in the low 90s, so it's making for a nice start to September. You can see in the water vapor this giant U shape. That's what we call a trough, an area of low pressure. That's what's bringing the cooler weather to our friends up towards the north. For us, it's just been helping us out with the humidity, not so much temperature-wise. But I'm showing you this because this has to do with where that tropical wave may track. That all has to do with the pattern in the upper levels. So you can see the trough over the eastern part of the U.S. We also have high pressure centered over the central Atlantic. So this low pressure, this tropical wave that we're watching that has a high chance of developing, will track west-northwest, and it really depends on the strength of the pattern in the upper levels of where it will go, so where it'll track. And if you watch, the area of low pressure, that trough over the eastern half, does look to push off the east coast. If that does that, then it is a likely chance that we'll see, if that does develop, take that right turn, which is what we like to see. And also a lot of models are starting to indicate that, but they're still spread. So we still have plenty of time to keep an eye on that. In the meantime, past this week, the extended tropical weather outlook, this is provided by the Climate Prediction Center. They're highlighting portions in the Gulf as well as the southwestern Atlantic for a low chance of watching these areas for tropical development. So this is September 10th through September 16th. The week after that, September 16th through September 23rd, week 3, they now have a medium chance of watching for tropical cyclone development as we go into later in September, which makes sense now that we're getting closer and closer to the peak of hurricane season. So we have to continue to monitor that. I know it's been feeling like it's been a slow start, but there still have been several named storms so far this season. The next one could be the G name Gabrielle. All right, back here at home in South Louisiana, here's a live look outside in our Sky 9 camera. This is over Falls River. We've got some blue skies and a little bit of cloud cover out there. Overall, another nice start. Still feeling the lower humidity, although it's going to be another warm day today, very similar to yesterday. We're already in the mid to upper 80s for most places, 86 Baton Rouge, Gonzales, 84 in Homa, as well as New Roads, 83 in Macomb right now. So it'll be another warm day, mainly dry. I've got 10 to 20% chance of seeing a shower or storm. This will mainly be for near and north of the interstates that we see some of those isolated showers later in the afternoon. But for the most part, it'll be another mainly dry day, warming up to the low 90s. Yesterday we hit 91. Will be very similar today, and then cooling into the upper 70s overnight once again. So really not much change in the coming days. We've got low 90s today. We'll see a slight warm up by the end of the week into the mid 90s by Friday. Still keeping those nice mornings in the low 70s. No chance for rain by the end of the work week as well. Once we get into the weekend, again keeping those low 90s, we'll see some more moisture pooling into the area. So that's why we've got 20% both for Saturday and Sunday. But that's ahead of our next frontal boundary. So if you look into early next week, I can pull this up full for you. We see some upper 80s in there, so that's going to be some nice afternoons as well as some better chances for rain in the afternoon as well. Also, if you see at the very end of the 7-day forecast, morning starts in the upper 60s, so that's something to look forward to there. Meteorologist Henry Blakes will have more for you on what to expect today, heading into the rest of the work week, and of course the tropics, all for you over on the Noon Show right here on WAFB.